All right, welcome back, everybody. It's been probably about a week since I've recorded anything. The actual week itself's been crazy, and then just having to catch up on homework and a bunch of other stuff. But I've been having clips still come out because I recorded so many last week, so I really didn't have to worry about it this week. But I have been messing around with some stuff whenever I get some time. Now, as I've been doing this, it's so hard to deal with just the fundamentals the whole way through. And I still have a lot to learn fundamentally. I will be going back and doing some more fundamentals. But just I decided to kind of go headfirst into how to mess with n8n and start developing automations, because that's what the whole goal of this company that I'm trying to do is going to be, is to create automated solutions for companies and businesses. So I went into n8n. I was messing around with it last night, watched a few tutorials, and man, it's the videos that you watch on there make it look like it's so easy, but then you start getting into the nitty gritty of things, and it's like a completely different world. Even though you don't really need to know coding, which that part is accurate, it's still it's a lot, especially if you're new to it. So let's just open up n8n over here, and I'm make this a little smaller so you guys can see it. Okay, so this is what I've been playing with so far. I have a automated email generator. Now, it doesn't continuously send out emails, but what it does do is I have got Discord over here. I've been messing around with it with my brother. Him and I have been doing this together, and I have a link right here. So what this link is going to do is it is going to start this workflow. And what a workflow means is that it's essentially, it's the flow of work, but it's going to start this. This is called a trigger. And what a trigger does is once something is initiated, a specific action is performed, such as clicking on that URL, it will begin the process. Now, when it begins the process, it's going to go through all of these. It's going to, here, it's easier to just show you. All right, so we have it activated. That's good. And I'm going to click on this, and it's going to pull up this little form here that it's going to ask me to fill out. I'm going to fill it out. Give me Jason Holloway. Spell my name wrong. We'll just put in a fake one here. This is not my email or phone number, so don't get any ideas. Design preference. So essentially what I kind of set this up for is a project design. I don't plan on using this right now or anytime in the future. This is more or less from the guide that I was watching. I was lacking a little creativity. My brain was really just kind of blown up with all the information that I was getting. So I went with what his options were. I'll explain them, and I'll open up the nodes or the modules here in a second so you can sort of see them. But we'll just say sleek. Company description. We try to maintain a sleek and professional appearance at all times. Okay. Timeline, 3 to 6 weeks. And then I'm going to click submit. Now, once I click submit, it should begin the workflow. I hope this doesn't mess up because I'm going to look really stupid. Form submitted. Cool. Now, you won't see anything happening here. If you click test workflow, it'll show little wheels like as if it's thinking and what processes are happening. This right here, this is a buffer. So essentially what happened was I submitted the form, and it went into OpenAI, ChatGPT, which is what I'm using for it. OpenAI then created an email response based off of the form information that I submitted. I had it wait 10 seconds so that it doesn't look like you fill out the form and then get an email like that. And then it sent it off to an email. So I have it set from sending from my Gmail to my Yahoo account. Oh, that's pinned. Hold on. Have to unpin this data. Okay. All right, now let's fill this form out again. Or else it's going to try, it'll probably try to use old recycled data, and I don't want that. Okay, so it is, the form is filled back out again. 3 to 6 weeks. All right, submit. This should work now. So what I'm going to do from here is I am now going to open up my email. And it keeps sending it to my spam folders, but I think that's because, yeah. So I sent it to my spam folder, and I'm pretty sure that's because I've sent so many test emails. My email is now registering this email as a spam. So that's kind of, for your security, the link's been disabled. So let's uncheck this as spam, go back to inbox. And as you can see, yes, I have 8 different previously sent messages, but right here, 219, and it is now 220, which means it was just sent while we were doing this. What it created was, it said, this is from my, the business email that I created, and it says, "Hey Jason, how are you? Thank you for submitting your onboarding form. I see here your phone number is 555-555-5555, and your email is jasonholloway17@yahoo.com. Additionally, your design preference is sleek. Your company description is our company tries to maintain a sleek appearance at all times, and you would like this completed in 3 to 6 weeks. Is this information accurate? If there are any inaccuracies, please let me know in a follow-up email. If there's anything that I left out, please let me know. Thanks, Jason." So, cool. We got that email. Now, where I'm trying to still bridge the gap and figure out how to do it is make this read a response that I send back and then generate a follow-up email to my follow-up email. For example, let's say I send this to, some business owner, and they look at it and either their information is incorrect, or they would like to schedule a meeting time, or anything else. I'm going to have to respond to whatever they said. And I don't want to, nor will I have the time to sit there and look through it individually. So ideally, what I would like to be able to do is have this linked to my Gmail and be able to read emails as they come in and sort them and distribute them as needed. So maybe if somebody wants to set up a time to schedule it, that would be nice. Or if they need additional information, maybe they need the form resubmitted to them. If they need additional contact information, or just anything in general. That's kind of the idea of what I'm looking towards, but I haven't figured that out yet. I'm just showing you how I'm playing with it. So let's go into this so I can just sort of show you what happened. So I've got it in test URL right now. Now, when you open this up first, it's going to have all these different fields for you to fill out. And now this might look intimidating, but it's really not. And to start this, we're going to pretend like nothing is here. It's just a blank canvas. You're going to go to Add and Trigger Action. Where is... Oh, you can only have one trigger action, I believe, actually. So, oh, embarrassing myself here. Oh, God. Okay. I'm not going to delete this because I don't want to have to re-put this data back in and show, If you guys want a more in-depth tutorial later on, let me know. This is just to track my progress. Essentially, this is our trigger action. When you open it up on the side, when there's nothing else there, you're going to want to start off with a trigger action. And that's where I found this. And it's just forms. It gives you like a couple different trigger actions you can perform. So yeah, there's that. Now you go in there, authentication, none. Form title is basic onboarding form. Essentially what this does is this is creating the form that I filled out. And all you're going to do is this is onboarding form. Please fill out all required fields listed and our team will begin working on it. Then as you need additional forms or fields, you're just going to click the add field option right down there. When you add a field, it's going to give you the option. You're going to first label it. And it is going to, usually you're going to have it text every time. And you're just going to give it a name. Essentially give it a name. And placeholder is like, when you click on a box to type something in, and there it populates something that looks, it's a placeholder essentially, but then you start typing and it goes away. That's essentially what it is. It's like showing the example. So basically whatever you expect in that field is what it'll put. This was an email address field. You go to field type, there's an email section. So a phone number, you're going to want to put that in text. You don't want to put it in number because if you put it in the number format right here, I already tried playing with this. When you have an area code and you have those parentheses around it, you can't put parentheses if you just have a number. So you want to keep it in text so that people can put their area code with the parentheses around it. Design preference, drop-down list. So this one was pretty cool because when you do a drop-down list, it lets you keep, essentially when you just drop down on a form and it lets you select from options for multiple choice, that's just what you're filling in, the different options that you might want it. And I'm sure you could probably add an other option as well, but so, right here, it's got the option multiple choice right here. And now when you get done and get through all this, you're going to want to check required field every time, because if you don't, they could leave it out and then you might not get the information that you need. So there's that one. And it says respond when form is submitted. You don't want workflow finishes because, well, to be honest with you, I don't really know yet. I haven't messed with it. I just know what needs to happen. So, but I'm sure with playing with it, I will walk around and find out, so. We go into the OpenAI. Now this is the fun one. So first you're going to want to get your n8n or your OpenAI. Essentially, this is going to be where you want to get your key, your API key. And so for those of you who don't know, I'm not going to go and get a new one, but what I will do is I will go here. If you type in platform.openai.com, go to it, go to your settings over here, this little spin wheel, the settings wheel over here. Come on now. Okay, go to the settings, and then literally the second option is API keys. You're just going to click on that, and you can't get access to previous ones even if you type in edit. All it does is let you edit the name. That's it. You're going to want to create a new one every time that you want to, essentially, I believe every time you want to create a new API key. So if you have 3 OpenAI chat functions in one action, workflow action. From my understanding, you're going to need 3 API keys. Could be wrong. Hope I'm wrong. It'd be nice if they could use the same one, but I think every time you need to create a new one, it's going to want a new API key. Could be wrong on that. But anyways, that's where you get it. You click create new API key, follow the directions, and it gives you one. Now, when you get your API key, you won't be able to get that API key back. So I'm not going to pull up the form, but I have it saved somewhere on my desktop so that I have a way for me to go back and reference API keys for certain agents that I'm putting it in. So anyways, that's that. I'm not going to get too much more into detail. If you need more information on how to find API keys, there's a lot of videos out there on it. I'm not an expert because the thing is with API keys, almost everything on here is going to require you to get an API key of some form. My Gmail required an API key. Essentially what an API key is it's giving that function access to whatever it is that you're trying to get it to do for an outside application. So it's linking your Gmail or your WhatsApp or anything else that you're trying to link. It's linking that application to n8n. And that's what the API key does. It gives this the ability to link it. So we got our API key resource. I'm keeping it in text. I'm sure that image and audio and all the other things, they are beneficial, but for now I've only messed with text. Messaging model, I just have it set for messaging model. I went to chat right now as I'm doing this. ChatGPT 4.0 is the most up-to-date model. It's the best one. Now, if you want to, you can go to what is it? I have it set here. Wrote down some sticky notes for me. If you want to, you can go to platform.openai.com/docs/models. And if you do that, if you put that in exactly, here, I'll show you. What that's going to do is it's going to show you the most up-to-date models that you can choose from. So you're just going to want to use the best one out there for now anyways. There might be some niche uses for some of the other ones, but for now, that's what we're going to use. Keep minimizing that. Okay. So we have got that. I just typed in a little message. I want you to be a helpful and intelligent email writing assistant. That's essentially just giving it a role. So when you do this, you can add message. So that's going to be your first message, and I set my role as a system because it says usually used to set the model's behavior or context for the new user message. So this is like a prompt before the main prompt, essentially. You're telling it how you want it to act, and then the next message that you add is going to be exactly what you want it to do. The next message is then going to be the user itself. So think of system as personality. User is the person themselves. Now in here for the text, for the actual, like the function I want them to perform, your task is to customize an email template using the following data. Now what you do for this, you're going to type first name, last name, email, essentially just type in the name of, you see over here where it's got the, the different things that you type in on the form, the form labels, I guess, if you want to call it. I'm blanking on the name. But you're just going to want to type the name of whatever those are called. So first name, last name, email address, phone number, design preference, company description, and timeline. And then literally all you're going to want to do is to take that and you need to drag and drop. And you're going to drag and drop it right next to, so corresponding first name, you're going to drag and drop first name next to first name, last name next to last name, email address next to email address, so on and so forth. Now what that's doing, you can't just put like a traditional prompt where you just kind of tell it what you want it to do. You can't do that because What this is doing by dragging it, it is analyzing the information that was submitted via the form. So if you just type it in manually, it's not going to know where the heck to pull the information from. But if you drag and drop, it knows to pull that specific context from that specific field. That's the word I was thinking of earlier. It's going to know exactly where to pull that, what field to pull that context from. And that's important because when you do this and have multiple people filling out a form, you don't want it to generate the same information for each form. It's not good. You don't want that. Because then it's not personalized. I mean, let's say Edward fills out a form for his stuff. He sends it off and he gets one for, an email back saying Jacob because it's from recycled information in the past. You want it to be from the form that it was submitted from. That's why you drag and drop for the specific fields. And I think that's going to be applicable for a lot of things moving forward. And you get that by running it, clicking test, and then you're going to want to pin it. I'm not going to do that right now. I've already done that. I've already put in the work. If I go pinning stuff and showing you how to rework it, it's going to mess stuff up. This isn't a tutorial. This is just sort of showing you what I've learned. I then separated it with a double line, went down a little bit, and I added the actual, what I want it to look like. Email template. Hey, first name. Now that one you are going to want to type in because it has the information up here. This is the information it's going to load itself with. This is the email it's going to generate based off of the template. So by you typing in first name, it's going to know to pull from the first name copy and drag one. Hey, Jason, how are you? Thank you for submitting your onboarding form. I see here your phone number and your email is email. Additionally, your design preference is design preference. Your company description is company description. And would you like this completed in, see, good thing I went over this with you guys. And you would like this completed in timeline, 3 to 6 weeks or whatever you put. Is this information accurate? I just added a little bit more. And I also said to remove the subject line because when I was testing it, it was putting in a subject line in the actual email template itself. And I didn't like that. So essentially, you know how when you receive an email and it's got a subject line so people know what it's about? It was literally putting that subject line in the body of the email as well. And I didn't want that. So I asked it to remove that. So that's just, here's another really important one. No, that's in the next step. This buffer I have set here because what this does is it breaks it up to where it won't be sent immediately, like the second it's sent off. I have it set for 10 seconds because if you type out, if I'm trying to think, if I want someone to think that I am sending them a personalized email, realistically, you're not going to respond immediately. I mean, this thing can type and send an email faster than you can even get your thoughts out typed up. So give it a little bit of a breakup. To be honest, 10 seconds is still even too fast. You might want maybe like 30 seconds or 60 seconds realistically. But yeah, that's a way to make it feel more personalized, I guess. Now this one I connected my Gmail account. So what this is going to do now is every time a form gets filled out, it's going to, it's essentially taking over my Gmail account. And it's sending stuff out on my email's behalf. Every time one of those forms are submitted, this email is sending an email to the email that was filled out in the form. And that happens because I connected my Gmail account to here through an API key, which API key you can find on the Gmail. Again, I'm not going to show you how to go finding the API key for the Gmail. But yeah, that's how you did it. Now I set the message or the resources message Operation send, I want it to be sending an email based on the form that they submit to me. And right here where it says to, what you're going to want to do is you want to find where it says right here in the on form submission, you want to drag the email block over there and drop it in. Because what that does, originally I just had it typed in for whoever I want it sent to. So when I was practicing back and forth with my brother, I would have it sent to him. But I realized that, because then when I would try to send it to myself, because we're not always practicing together, I realized it's not sending for some reason. That's because every time I fill out the form, no matter what email I put in that, whether it's mine, my wife's, or my brother's, it's going to always send to my brother. I called him up this morning and he's like, dude, why did you send me like 8 different test emails last night? And so that's kind of what happened there. I learned that you need to drag it, because if you don't do that, it's going to put whatever you type in there. It needs to have it auto-generated based off of the form submission. So that's why you drag and drop for that. Subject line, RE n8n test form, email type, text. It's going to automatically, when you create this, it's going to automatically have it set to HTML. I don't know what that's going to do, but I would assume it's going to put it into some sort of code that I can't read. I just put it to text because I know text is going to put it in English format so I can read it. And the message, all that does, or all that is you're going to copy the content that the AI generated in the message, and you're going to drag the content in the, right here in the OpenAI dropdown. It has content right here. You're going to click it and drag it and drop it there. That way, when the message gets sent, it knows what message to send. So yeah, that's, oh, and right here, this is the last piece. If you click add options, nope, not add options. Yeah, trash. Yeah, add options. The first option is append n8n attribution. If you have this selected right here, what's going to happen is in your email, when it gets sent to you, at the bottom of the email, or up here, at the bottom where it says thanks Jason, it's going to say sent from n8n chatbot, or whatever it says it's going to do. You obviously don't want that. If you're trying to send this to a client, like, that's not going to feel good. I'm going to get mad if I'm applying for something, trying to purchase something, and I get a automated message that is very clearly automated. I would be mad. I'd be like, I don't want to work with them anymore. I can't talk to someone. So that's important. You want to make sure that that is checked off. And you have to add that in there, because if you don't pull that up on the option, it's going to automatically have that selected. So you have to pull that to deselect it. So we're just going to inactivate it, test the workflow with this. We're just BSing this right here just to be able to get there. I don't want to have to keep putting thought into these. At first, when I was first messing with this form, I was actually trying to think like, what would I really realistically say? But it's all for test purposes. I don't care what it comes through as. I'm not going to be rereading the email that I automatically sent to myself. So, form is submitted. You can see AI is doing its thing. It's given its 10 seconds to generate. Once it's done, it's going to be sent over to the email, the Gmail selection, and it is going to be sent off. My Gmail sent it to my Yahoo, which is probably back in my spam again. Oh, look at that. Maybe it finally decided that it wasn't worth spamming. Wait a second. Oh, I forgot to put the 17. All right, let's try this again. Sleep. Yeah, I could use some sleep. Submit. It's doing its thing. Waiting 10 seconds. And we should see it get sent to my spam folders here in a second. There we go. Sent to my spam folders. Hey, whatever that says. How are you? Thank you for submitting your onboarding forms. So, yeah. So that's pretty cool. That's how it's done. I have a lot to learn. I'm probably going to be spending the rest of this day learning more stuff. I think I need to go back to the foundations. I really do. I genuinely feel like I'm kind of in over my head right now. I'm not saying that I regret trying to start this company by any means. I still want to, but right now it feels very overwhelming. I feel like I tried to dive off the deep end without even learning how to swim, and now I'm drowning. So we're going to go back to the foundations. Most videos from here out are going to be fundamental based. I might come back because if I get bored with foundations, I might start trying to play with this again. But yeah, we're going to go back to foundations. I've been learning a little bit of ChatGPT, data analytics. So that's kind of cool. That'll be pretty useful. And it'll be fun to see how I can incorporate OpenAI into analyzing images and sending off reports based off of what the image does and says or files. So that'll be pretty cool. But anyways, this is a long video coming in at 32 minutes. I've got to edit to make sure this audio sounds good. I did find a really great resource for making my audio better. I know my last 14, 15 videos have not sounded very great. And that's because I've just been using my normal camera speaker. But I found something that allows me to separate the audio from the video and enhance the audio and put it back in. And it's fantastic. I believe it's called, for those of you who are curious, it's called Enhanced Speech products.adobe.com/enhance. And this is, you just go in there and you separate the files from one another. So it's really cool. So, all right, well, that's it. I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video for you. So, bye.